was Tala, Sura. I am Surface, the procrastinating space pirate, back with another video on Monte Games' Cypher System. Before going into the video, I want to thank my cephalons for completing my last video when I wasn't able to. Even a space pirate can be a father, and sometimes children come first, especially when they're young. Anyway, this isn't about me, it's about you, learning from me, stuff about Cypher. As it always does, we start with the Cypher System Red Book, because it always starts there. Well, no, it actually starts with Human Error, but I'll get to that another time. This is about how your Cypher is wrong, even though it's probably right. It's wrong when you want an answer to your game. You know? You don't know. I can see that blank stare in your eyes that says, "Hold your ear to mine and you'll hear the ocean." So allow me to fill you with what's in me. Knowledge! It's knowledge. See, while page 7 is a good lowdown, chapter 25 on page 402, Running the Cypher System, goes into the details of the rules and mechanics at play here. Setting difficulty ratings, GM and player intrusions, but it's the first and last I want to point out. The rules versus the story, and the rest of the rules. The former is pretty short, while the latter covers many pages, but it's the point of both that I'm covering here. You choose at your table for your players what you want to do and use. And don't you dare let anyone else tell you you're wrong, because you're not. This one's heavily to the GMs, but parts apply to players too. See, Cypher is a toolbox, but I feel most people don't understand that to the extent that it means. So imagine a toolbox full of tools. Hammer, adjustable wrench, nails, glue, needle nose pliers, an assortment of different flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers, sandpaper, a random piece of wood with a hole and a bent nail in it. I honestly don't know why that's here. Monte and Sean have some explaining to do. See, this is Cypher, a toolbox. Until you bring a world, a setting, your imagination to it, until you have a project that needs those tools, that toolbox and tools inside will just sit there. But here's the thing. How you use your tools from the toolbox, what projects you work on, will affect what tools you use, how you use them, and when and where you'll need them. Likewise, only you know what rules and mechanics you need for Cypher, and which ones you don't. But then how does Cypher work if the rules and mechanics are all optional? I can hear you murmuring through the Daosphere from a billion years ago. Simple, because that's how we used to do it. Here's some homework. Go watch the doco on Dave Arneson and see how he developed the concepts of that popular TTRPG over several years with the Blackmore group. That game was initially designed like Cypher, a system that could plug and play rules and mechanics as needed, even from entirely different games and systems. Hell, even the settings of Greyhawk and Blackmore had different rules to them, supported only by a few core mechanics, like some classes. The point is, if you think of the Cypher system beyond the confines and limiting imaginative possibilities other games impose, you will never have the toolbox of Cypher to play with. Besides which, one of the most enjoyable things I do when answering questions on the CU Discord is preface every answer with its opposite, because both are true. I want to let a scene play out naturally, and not have a role get in the way of a scene the players have perfectly brought to life. What should I do? Answer: the rules say go with the narrative of the situation. If you or the players don't want to roll, then don't. Or do roll, because that's what's expected. The choice is up to your table. We are not at your table. We can only tell you what we would do at our tables. Plus, it can depend on the genre of game too. Horror, for example, needs those chance math rocks to throw a curveball. With all things, the way you use rules is dependent on how they serve you. Mechanics keep things balanced, but even a lot of that can be left to choice. Honestly, I think I started rambling here, even though I once again came up with a script for this topic, but you know what? I'm going to keep it as is. because maybe not everything I say here makes sense, but something might make sense, or at least click for some of you, and you might find a new way to play with any of your TTRPGs. I think the main point of this video is to detract the rules lawyers about how to play, because when I start talking about my games, you can bet your ass I'm not doing this or that by the rules. Yeah, I don't care. Thank you all for listening or watching this video. Either or is fine. It took me a while to decide on this topic, which is funny because the idea was the original draft of the previous video, except I decided to just start writing and this word squirtle pooped out. Next week, and maybe the week after, I might take a break from Cypher to talk about some other stuff before hitting the white books next time I revisit Cypher. I think that might be cool. I really want to get to Numenera as it is my favourite, and so I can talk about my Numenera world, because I have a lot of fun with it. Anyway, thank you again, Sarah, and remember to sail beneath a flag of freedom.